the way we can use mean to measure a central tendency, that is a unit number that will represent a whole distribution, or to collect a sample using the mean method. How to use mean to collect a sample of a distribution. So, and that is what we have explained to you. We said we have to know the frequency, the actual value of a distribution, or of a particular variable in a distribution. And to know this, we have to multiply the number of occurrence to the value of the number, and that is what we mean by the fx. That is knowing the actual value of a number in a distribution, and that is what we mean by fx. F simply means the frequency, while x simply means the number or the variable. So multiplying them together, we have what we refer to as the fx. That is multiplication of s times f. So quickly we move to the measure of central tendency with the method of median. The method we call median. So how do we measure a central tendency? How do we choose a particular number to be a sample of a particular distribution using the method median? How do we use median to pick a number out of a particular distribution representing that distribution? So how do we pick the number with the method we refer to as the median? The median. Taking a look at the method called median is from when we look at the root word of the word median, we know we are talking about middle. The word median. When we look at the root word, we are talking about middle. So how do we use this method of median, to pick a number or to sample a number out of a distribution using median? Let's take a look at it. You see, in the course of this studies, median is the form of, or is the way by which we arrange data in an array, that is in ascending order or in descending order. When we arrange data in either ascending order or in descending order, we arrange it in array, like I've explained to you in the class. So when we arrange this data, picking the middle number, picking the middle variable in this distribution is what we refer to as mean. Picking the middle variable in the distribution to represent or to be a sample of the whole distribution is what we refer to as the median. Now let's take a look at this method. Let's pick some questions and solve using these methods. At least it will be clearer to us more than this. So let's take an example from median. Let's pick some numbers. Or I think we can just, a question. Let's just pick some numbers. For instance, we have these numbers. We have 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6. We have 6, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's pick like 9 numbers. We have 10, and we have 1. So here we have 9 numbers. So given this number as our x, how do we use median? Okay, given this number, use a median method to bring out the average of these numbers. So how do we bring out this average of these numbers? Number one thing you have to do is arrange this distribution, rearrange in ascending or descending order, and that's what we refer to as array. And rearranging this distribution, we arrange in ascending order. Let's start with ascending order, which is from the smallest to the biggest. So here we have 1. We have 1 in this distribution. We have 1 in the distribution. That is 1. We have 1 2 times in the distribution. Again, we have 2 in the distribution. We have 3 in the distribution. We have 1 1. We have 1 twice. 1 2. Again, we have 2 once. We have 3 twice. So in rearranging this number, we have 4. We have 6. We have 6 twice. And we have 10. I think we have 10, which is the last number there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So picking a particular number to represent this distribution, or picking a particular variable to represent this distribution, what you do is you pick the middle number after arranging this number. Okay, let's take a look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From this side, we can, okay, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. From this side, counting from this side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the middle number now is 3. So which simply means our median is equal to 3. So which simply means we are using 3 to represent this distribution. It's a form of average. The average of this distribution is 3, which is the middle number, and that is the method of measuring a central tendency by using the method, the median method. So we have 3. In case, for instance, there are some cases where we have 10 numbers in the distribution. In the case where we have 10 numbers in the distribution, what we just do is, let's take for example, we have 3 here. Let's say we have 10 also. We have 2 10s. Let's say we have 10 here, still in the distribution. So what you do now is have another 10. So which simply means we have 10 numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which simply means we have 10 numbers. And how do we know the middle number? Say we have 5 from this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again we have 5 from this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what do we do? What you do in this case is we count 4 from this side, count 4 from this side. The 2 at the number at the center is our median. And how do we make them our median? What we do is we find the average. Use the mean, the average, finding the average. And how do we find the average? We put them together. That is 3 plus 4 will give you 7. 7, then divide by 2 variables, 3 and 4, which means we have 2 variables, which occurs 2 times. So dividing 7 with 2 variables, we are going to have 3.5, which means the median of this distribution is 3.5. So that is just the simple way. If we have a variable that is in the form of odd number or even number, like we have 10, we have 8, we have all variables that can be divided by 2. So that is how we do it. So let's quickly move to the last one, which is the mode. And when we say mode, what do we mean by mode, and how can we use mode to measure a central tendency? Now let's take a look at this. I said we have mode. And how do we use this method? This is a method by which we represent the whole distribution, or we take a sample of the distribution by using the element or the variable that has the number of the highest frequency or number of highest frequency or occurrence in the distribution. We use this type of number to represent or as a sample for the whole distribution. Looking at this figure now, let's take a look at the mode. Let's use the same example we used in the median, and let's use it here in the mode. Now, how do we know the variable that has the number of highest occurrence? Now we have 1, which occurs how many times? Well, let's say we have the variables here, and we have the frequency. That is the number of occurrence. You can make it like a table. You can make it a table. So now we have 1, like I've said. We have 1, and we have 1 how many times? We have 1 2 times. Or let me just make a little change to the distribution. We have 1 also here. So which simply means we have 1 in 3 places. Number 1 occurs 3 times. We have 1 in 3 places. I beg your pardon, I'm having some problem with the marker. So 1 occurs 1, 2, 3. It occurs 3 times. So we have another number, we have 2. In the distribution, we have 2, which occurs how many times? 2 occurs 1 time, which is 1. Again, we have 3 in the distribution, which occurs how many times? 1, 2. It occurs 2 times. Again, we have 4 in the distribution, which occurs one time. And again, we have 6 in the distribution. We have 6 which occurs 2 times. And then lastly, I think we have 10 in the distribution which occurs 1 time. So using a mode method, what we get here now is the number that has the highest frequency. We use the number to represent the whole distribution. Here we have 1 which occurs 3 times. So our mode in this case is equal to 1. We are using 1 to represent this whole distribution simply because it has the number of the highest occurrence. It occurs 3 times. It has the number of highest occurrence. So we use the number 1 to represent this distribution, and that is how we use mode to measure the central tendency, which means we pick a number that has the highest occurrence. And in the median, I told you, after rearranging our data, we use the middle number. In the case where they are like 9 or 10 numbers, or their numbers in their even, we use the 2 middle number, we find the average, add them together, and divide them by 2, by their average. So we get the median. And in the case of mode, in the case of mean, I told you we had the numbers in the distribution together. We know the value of each variable in the distribution. When we know the value, we now weigh it on the number of their occurrence, and that is what we mean by mean. So these are the ways by which we can measure a central tendency. We thank you for the class today, and if you have any question, please, our WhatsApp group is very much available there. Please, let's throw our question there. We are at your service to answer your questions at any moment or any point in time. So till we meet, we hope to meet you next time. Thank you.